I was wrong in doing what I did.
No, no, no! Are you listening?
Sean here, and let's have a little bit of fun. Let's say you're working in an office. You got a good team. You guys are working. The door swings open, and in comes Humpty Dumpty. Weird eyes, weird shaped body, creepily looking around at everybody. Smiles, and you see those chompers, and you're thinking, oh, you must have the wrong office, buddy. But he goes to HR or wherever it is that you sign those papers that say, you know, you're not going to be sexist, racist, phobeist, whatever it is. Then he's going to come out and he's going to be introduced to the team. Everywhere I've ever been, I've been the new shiny toy. You come in, I know we've all experienced it, especially in the tech field. You're the new shiny toy. People want to come up to you and they want to share those stories they've been boring people with for 20 years or 15 years. They want to share that with you. And you're the new person that they can get a reaction from. And they want to hear all about you. They get new stories. It's a unique trade-off. Lorne is not going to be the shiny new toy. If they came over to me and said, hey, here's your new team member, I would probably think, oh, shit. Well, we can make it work. We'll make it work. I'll just figure out what he knows, what he needs to know, and we'll be good. Lorne's not going to learn anything. And we briefly touched on this when I talked about his office romance, rivalry, and things like that. He's going to be looking around for a mother figure. If he has a male boss, I would not expect him to stay there for long. But he's introduced to your team. You kind of have to feel him out. You're going to be trying to teach him something, and he's going to start going off on a tangent about stories. Now, Lorne, he doesn't want anybody to know about NBC or perverted justice. He doesn't want anybody to know, he says. But I've got a sneaking suspicion if he were to go into an office and no one was paying him any attention, he would eventually get so frustrated that I was on NBC. I just have this weird feeling that he would try to pull that out as a last resort. But that's not what I'm talking about. You got him, you're training him. He's starting to go off on tangents, starting to tell you about somebody he met somewhere, and you're like, all right, let's stay on task. And what would normally take 2 days of training would end up getting to about 14, I believe. We know Lorne is unteachable, but the people in that office would not know he's unteachable. They would also not know that he has a propensity to snap when things don't go his way, when he doesn't get what he wants. They would eventually find that out. Specifically, the first time he made a mistake, which would be within the first week. Generally speaking, in a tech field, when you're working with complex technology, you're going to make a mistake, especially when you're new. You just take it on the chin and roll. Now, it has a lot to do with how people approach you. Hey, man, when you did that, it did this. Here's what you do next time. Because you pretty much had it, but here's what you do next time. And there you go. That's how you tell somebody, don't worry about it. We're good. Because there's nothing world-ending. I mean, unless you're controlling, like, the universe, climate control for the universe, then maybe so. But, come on. Lorne's not getting anywhere near that. Lorne would make his first mistake, and he would argue. Rather than just saying, oh, okay, thanks for letting me know that's how you fix it, he would want to talk about why he did it, what led up to him doing it, what he thought you said. He did what you told him to. You would probably say, no, Lorne, we have the sheet right here, and you would get well, that's what I thought you said. Now, if you're in an office environment, look how the catfish women respond. If you're in an office environment, and this moron is arguing with you and trying to gaslight you, you're going to be like, okay, all right, that's the kind of guy you are, no problem. Maybe your teammates, sorry, I slip into my Lorne sometimes. Your teammates recognize it. Maybe they come up to you and they're like, man, what was that all about? And you're like, oh yeah, he took down 3 servers because God, I hope he's never around that. Well, he took down a phone, a data connection or a VoIP connection, and we got it back up. Everything's good. It was a simple mistake. Oh, okay. But those simple mistakes, man, they add up. They add up big time. You can only make so many simple mistakes before you become a complex problem. I will say that again. You can only make so many simple mistakes before you become a complex problem. You get that web of, well, I don't know what we need to fix now. I mean, he's messing up over here, messing up over there. What do you do with it? Do you retrain him? Do you move him to another team because the one thing he hasn't screwed up yet is that specialty? I mean, this is Lorne we're talking about here. Maybe that's his goal, is a shell game, to be moved around from one place to the next and constantly being in the learning phase, because when you're in the learning phase, you can claim ignorance, you can claim stupidity. Oh, my bad, I didn't know that, I'm still learning. I mean, it's a comfortable place to be until you're on your own. It's like walking out of the hospital for the first time with your child, because in there it's been cared for by the nurse, they've done whatever else, if they're doing the feedings or the bath, sleeping, just sitting there breathing, taking the baby to sleep so the mother can get some rest, all of that stuff. And then you are handed the baby and you walk out and you've got to put the baby in the car. It is one of the scariest, unsettling type feelings in the world, because you are now in charge of that small child. It's not the same when you're turned loose at work, but you don't have a safety net anymore. They are depending on you. Lorne would be sitting at his desk, getting up every 5 minutes and going to talk to somebody. Let's skip over the part if there was a woman in the office, because we already know. We know this. Let's skip over that part. If he could, he'd be in the manager's office all the time. And as a manager before, for a pretty big division, I had people in my office all the time. And a lot of my job was just letting these people know they were valuable and important and listening to them. After a while, though, especially the new people, they want to come in and you've got a lot of deadlines coming up. You're like, boy, is there something important here? Or, you're thinking that. With Lorne, there would be nothing important. Oh, hey, yesterday, me and Roy, or whatever. And let's say that Lorne wasn't told not to drink. He'd probably be coming in smelling like 5-day banger. Even if he didn't come in smelling like he was on a binge, cigarettes and the odor from his trailer, they would attach themselves to his clothes. I would imagine his shoes reek, his feet reek. I mean, oh God, when he was telling Casey about his, oh God. Anyway, moving on. Someone would eventually say something about, hey man, Lorne is over there stinking it up. He's really gross. Happened more than once at places I've worked. And you can hear Lorne, instead of fixing it, well, I take a shower, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know where it's come from. I take a shower every night, 3 times a night. I don't know what to tell you. And eventually, maybe, he would change his ways. But people at work, man, they're not tolerant of that. If they've got to come in and spend 8 hours in a queue and Lorne's stench is wafting over the top, they're going to complain and they're going to expect something to be done, or else they're going to start demanding to work from home. I can't work in these conditions. I'm gagging over here. True story, real quick. Guy used to come into work, cow shit on his boots, cow shit on his jeans, just stinking, because he would get up every morning and go work on the farm and not come back and clean up. He'd just drive right into work thinking it was okay. Until finally, the manager said, look, you can't come in here like this anymore. I don't know why he waited so long, and he stopped coming in with cow shit boots and cow shit pants for the most part. But it stunk up the whole office. And Lorne would stink up the whole office. Dog hair all over his clothes. Oh. his hygiene would play a major role in why his time there would be a nightmare for everybody else. His incessant talking, his disgusting and creepy attention, that bullshit is disgusting to me, towards women, his lack of, apologies to any male figure, his refusal to accept responsibility, his laziness, his desire to stay in the learning phase, all of it would be a disaster. I don't think Lorne could survive in an office environment because he'd start showing up late and he'd start believing his excuses were acceptable. I actually had an employee call me and say they were going to be late. Well, I'll be right in. McDonald's line is huge. Now, I don't know about you, but I was raised that if you're going to be getting to work on time, you don't stop at a McDonald's that the line is huge because you're making yourself late so you can stuff your face. Maybe I was just raised differently. I don't know. But the excuses, I need to take off. Lorne would only work enough hours so that he could survive with cigarettes, a little bit of food, and some beer. He wouldn't spend it on his clothes. He wouldn't spend it on new clothes. He wouldn't spend it on new shoes. He wouldn't spend any of his extra money on making himself more presentable. It would all be wasted on consumables that he doesn't need. So I think between his stench, laziness, all of that other stuff, Lorne's out of there. I don't think he lasts very long. And of course what he would say when he's gone is, well, office life just wasn't for me, you know. They just didn't know how to handle me, man. It was too easy. I got bored. Whatever he would say. Some big excuse to the next catfish. Anyway, short video. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah,